After a heartbreaking Game 7 loss to the Dallas Mavericks and all the drama that went on with DeAndre Ayton in the offseason, almost the entire NBA world was ready to count the Phoenix Suns out, saying that they won't be a team at the top of the Western Conference coming into this season. Now, so far, we're 20 games into this NBA season, and the Phoenix Suns are still dominating. Right now, they have a record of 14-6. They have won 7 out of their last 10 games, and they are currently on a 5-game winning streak. And we look at the Phoenix Suns as a team. Statistically, they are also dominating. Right now, they rank 6th in the league in defensive rating, and they rank number 2 in the league in offensive rating. And what makes number 2 in the league in offensive rating so impressive is that Chris Paul has missed a handful of games so far this season. Right now, he's missed 5 straight games, and the Phoenix Suns have been able to win all 5 without CP3. So we have to give some props to Coach Monty Williams and the rest of this Phoenix Suns team. I thought that was very impressive. But when I look at the Phoenix Suns, I feel like they had a test to what type of season this was going to be. The very first game of the year, they had their rematch against the Dallas Mavericks. And this is when we was going to see if this team really had their heart and their soul snatched. And what did we see, man? That game, the Phoenix Suns, they got down big in the first half. And in the second half, I don't know what Coach Monty Williams said to them or if a player stepped up and had a speech. But the Phoenix Suns came out in the second half and they looked like a completely different team. They pull off the comeback and they ended up winning that game. So once I knew that, I knew the Phoenix Suns, I knew they were going to be the same team that we seen from the last 2 years. They're going to dominate all regular season long, and they're definitely going to have a shot at the NBA Finals. Now, we look at the Phoenix Suns and what makes them so good. We look at their scheme. It's a lot of ball movement, a lot of pick and roll for Devin Booker, Cameron Payne, Chris Paul whenever he's in the lineup. They also like to run a lot of off-ball screens for guys like Mikal Bridges, Devin Booker, some plays that'll get them some very easy shots in the mid-range area because those guys are lethal when it comes to those mid-range shots. And then also they're always locked in defensively, and that all starts with Mikal Bridges. He covers so much ground on that side of the court. But I think what's been so key for the Phoenix Suns this year, and it was really like this last year, and it's their depth. Right now they're missing 2 key starters, Chris Paul and Cameron Johnson, and with those 2 guys being out, it's the next man up. And the 2 guys that have stepped up to replace these guys has been Cameron Payne and Torrey Craig. Now, when it comes to the offensive system that the Phoenix Suns have, Cameron Payne serves as the perfect backup point guard, especially when Chris Paul is out dealing with an injury or if he's out resting. And when I look at Cameron Payne, his playing style is very similar to Chris Paul's. He does a great job of operating the pick and roll. In those situations, he's usually a great decision maker. He has the ability to pull up off the dribble for a 3-point shot. He can pull up in the mid-range, and he's super fast, so he does a great job of when that big hedge is out on him. He does a great job of getting downhill and getting to the rim, and he's also a pretty decent passer. He can throw the lob to the big. He can throw the bounce pass to the big on the roll. He can kick it out to a shooter depending on how the defense rotates. So Cameron Payne, he's the perfect backup point guard. And another thing that I like about him that is very key for the Phoenix Suns is that he has the ability to play off the basketball. So when Devin Booker is cooking with the basketball in his hands, Cameron Payne has shown us the ability to knock down a catch and shoot 3, and he's also shown us the ability to cut to the rim and finish a layup. So I love that about Cameron Payne. And then he gives 100% effort on the defensive side of the ball. Just like Chris Paul, he's a pest. He's always up in his man. He's constantly reaching, and he's just being an irritant. So I love that about Cameron Payne. And it's the same thing with Torrey Craig, and he's done a great job of filling that power forward spot for Cam Johnson. And he's nowhere near the shooter that Cam Johnson is. But what I like about Torrey Craig is that he's the perfect glue guy. He's going to do everything thing that doesn't show up on the stat sheet. He's going to take on the tough defensive assignments. He's going to box out. He's going to dive for loose balls. He's going to fight through every screen. And then on the offensive side of the ball, he's just always in the right place at the right time, whether it's hustling for an offensive rebound, standing wide open for a corner three, or just cutting to the rim. It seems like he's always in the right spot at the right time. So Torrey Craig, he's one of those guys that you love to have on your team, but you would damn sure hate to play against him. So we've been seeing some great basketball from Cameron Payne and Torrey Craig. And when you have a guy like CP3 out, a player that generates so much offense, whether it's scoring the basketball or creating for others, not just your role players have to step up, but your stars have to step up too. And that's exactly what we've seen with the Phoenix Suns. And the guy who I think has really been stepping his game up is DeAndre Ayton. Over his last 5 games, he has put up a double-double. And 2 games ago, he put up a monster stat line. He put up like 27 points and 21 rebounds. So I think DeAndre Ayton, he started this season off kind of slow. We all know what went down between him and the Phoenix Suns, Coach Monty Williams this offseason. It was a little rocky, but what I've been seeing over these last couple of games, it looks like they're starting to figure the emotional side out. He's just been playing with so much more energy, so much more passion, so much more emotion, and I think he's going to be the X factor for the Phoenix Suns this year. Once they get him to 100% buy-in, we're just going to see just how dangerous the Phoenix Suns are, because DeAndre Ayton, he's one of those guys that he has an endless amount of potential. He's so young, and already we've seen him be dominant against some of the best bigs in the NBA. We've seen him put up some monster numbers against Giannis Antetokounmpo, Anthony Davis, Karl Anthony Towns. So the ability is definitely there, and I just think it's all up to DeAndre Ayton. So I think he's going to play a huge role for the Phoenix Suns for the remainder of this season. So DeAndre Ayton has really been stepping up his play over these last couple of games, and so has Mikal Bridges. And with CP3 and Cam Johnson being out, he's going to have to take on more of the scoring load, and I think so far he's done a great job of that, and he's been doing that just by playing his game. He hasn't changed his playing style. He does a great job of knocking down those catch and shoot threes. I love Mikal Bridges out in transition. He does a great job of running the floor. Very long arms, so he's a great finisher around the rim. And then in the half court, he does a great job of coming off those screens, whether it's for a 3 or for an easy mid-range. And then he's also a great cutter in the half court as well. So Mikal Bridges, he does a great job of being efficient and taking advantage of those easy opportunities when the defense gives it to him. And the guy that I have to give most of the credit to, not the blame, but most of the credit, is Devin Booker. So right now, Devin Booker is playing at an MVP level. One thing that I'm loving that I'm seeing from D-Book is that right now his second best player, Chris Paul, and another key player, Cam Johnson, are out from the lineup as of right now, and he's found a way to keep his team afloat. Right now, the Phoenix Suns have a record of 14-6, and they're number 1 in the Western Conference. So I think that speaks volumes to the type of player that D-Book is, and it also speaks volumes to the type of team that the Phoenix Suns are. And right now, D-Book is putting up some pretty solid numbers. He's putting up 28 points per game to go along with 6 assists and 5 rebounds. He's also shooting 47% from the field, 35% from the three-point line, and 88% from the free throw line. So he's been pretty efficient so far this year, and I think those are some MVP numbers. Now, Devin Booker, he's one of my favorite players to watch because he makes the game of basketball, he makes it feel like an art form. He's so smooth on the offensive side of the ball. He can score from all 3 levels. He knocks down that 3-point shot off the catch, off the dribble. We all know how lethal he is in the mid-range, and I think one of the most underrated parts of Devin Booker's game is his ability to play in the post and his footwork. His footwork is so elite. He can shoot that post fade. He has the up and under. He can do a lot of these post moves that a lot of shooting guards in the NBA today, they don't have that in their bag. So I love that about D Booker. D-Book, love watching him in the post. And then also, since he's come into the NBA his rookie year, he's gotten so much better at taking that contact around the rim and then still finishing it. So he's gotten so much better at that, and then also at feeding his teammates. I feel like he's a guy that's making his teammates better. When that double team comes, he gets rid of the ball, and I'm pretty sure Devin Booker, he has to lead the NBA in hockey assists. A hockey assist is when, let's say he get doubled and then he throws it to Cameron Payne, and then Cameron Payne immediately throws it to DeAndre Ayton. That'll be a hockey assist for Devin Booker. So I feel like he's just been so special this year, and I think he's really evolving into a superstar, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from him in the Phoenix Suns. So for all of these reasons, man, this is why I think the Suns have proved everyone wrong. A lot of basketball enthusiasts, quote unquote, was saying that this team was done, that Luka snatched their heart, snatched their soul, but these guys are far from done, and they're definitely going to be a contender in the Western Conference this year. But that's going to be it for this vid. If you guys enjoyed, please leave a like, comment down below if you agree or disagree, and then subscribe for more weekly content. We do this all the time, man, and that's curtains.